Good morning. This is Mary Kay Bean, Public Information Officer of the Michigan Gaming Control Board. I'd like to welcome you to today's public board meeting. Before the meeting begins, I'd like to review a few things that will make your meeting experience a bit smoother. For audio settings, you can access your audio settings and test your audio when you are in a meeting. In meeting controls, click the arrow next to mute, unmute. Click audio options to open your audio settings. For closed captioning, in the navigation panel, click closed caption to start viewing. The provided subtitles may be clicked and dragged to move their position in the meeting window. To adjust the caption size, click the up arrow next to start video / stop video. Click video settings, then accessibility. Move the slide to adjust the caption size. If a business representative or an individual needs to address the board about a particular agenda item, please raise your hand using the icon on the navigation bar as the agenda item is introduced. Please see the photo at the above right. You will be added to the meeting as a temporary panelist, which will allow you to speak. You will see the message displayed at right. The chairman or chairwoman will request comments when it is time to speak. Those who join the meeting by telephone must use the Q&A box to share comments, which will be read aloud. To participate in the public comment portion, please select the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, type your question in the compose box, and then hit send. For the meeting agenda, you can see the chat section for a link or visit About MGCB, Board Meeting Schedule and Agendas page on the agency's website. The link is provided here. And now I would like to introduce our chairwoman, Ms. Linda Forte. Ms. Forte, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call to order the meeting. All board members are present for today's meetings. We have a quorum to proceed today's meeting to decide various matters listed on the agenda. As Ms. Bean indicated, there will be an opportunity for public comment later in the agenda after the business portion is completed. At this time, I'd like to consider approval of the minutes of the board's regular public meeting from August 10th, 2021. Board members have been provided with a copy of the prepared minutes of the board's last public meeting held on August 10th, 2021 for review prior to today's meetings. Do members have any corrections, additions, or deletions to the prepared minutes? Board Member Palms, could we have a motion to adopt the prepared minutes?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'd like to take a roll call vote on the motion. Board member,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, Diane.
On the motion to approve the minutes of the board's August 10th, 2021 regular public meeting, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed. We'll move on now to the director's report. And I'd like to ask Mr. Williams to please present your report.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair and fellow board members. Since the board's last regular public meeting, the following notable board-related activities and events have occurred. Staffing. MGCB has hired 5 new employees and 1 employee resigned their position. The Gaming Control Board currently has 139 employees and 28 vacant positions. 10 additional vacancies were added since the board's August public meeting due to internal promotions and transfers within the agency. As an organization, we work hard on coaching and mentoring our staff for opportunities that present themselves within the organization. Ongoing efforts to fill the board's 28 vacant positions will continue until all the positions are filled. A roster of the board's current staff, including the state police and attorney general staff assigned to assist the board in carrying out its statutory duties and responsibilities under the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act, are included in your packet for your reference as attachment 1. Budget. As of September 30th, 2021, total expenditures were $26,909,438, leaving an unexpended balance of $10,378,602 in appropriated funding for fiscal year 2021. This includes funds for anticipated reimbursement to the Attorney General and State Police for requested assistance pursuant to the Act. Please note the fiscal year is not closed, so these numbers are not final. This does not include Millionaire Party or horse racing appropriations. Operations revenue, and I'm just going to give you all a snapshot, is including your packets. All 3 licensed Detroit casinos have continued to operate on a 24-hour per day, 7-day per week basis since the board's last public meeting. Board regulation officers assisted by the state police gaming section officers monitor the casino operations for compliance with the requirements of the Act, the board's administrative rules, and the casino's own internal controls. Revenue from August and September 2021. The 3 Detroit casinos reported $113.82 million in monthly aggregate revenue in August and $110.4 million in monthly aggregated revenue in September. For August and September 2021, gaming taxes received from the 3 Detroit casinos was $17.8 million when compared to $12.7 million in August and September of 2020. For August and September 2021, the Detroit casinos paid $193,256 in retail sports betting taxes to the state of Michigan. For August and September 2021, the 3 Detroit casinos reported paying the city of Detroit $30.1 million wagering taxes and development agreement payments when compared to $19.5 million in August and September of 2020. For August and September of 2021, the 3 Detroit casinos reported paying $236,201 in retail sports betting taxes to the city of Detroit. Revenue from the Lawful Sports Betting Act and the Lawful Internet Gaming Act for January through August 2021, the total handle was $1.88 billion for sports betting, $666.7 million in adjusted gross receipts, $606.2 million from internet gaming, $60.5 million from internet sports betting. State of Michigan taxes and payments for January through August was $124 million in taxes and payments, $120.1 million from internet gaming, and $3.9 million from internet sports betting. As you can tell by these numbers, the revenue from internet gaming is really doing well. The platform operators are operating fully. We still have 1 platform that has not launched. So we do have 14 internet sports betting and 14 internet gaming operators operating in the state to date. State of Detroit taxes and fees owed and received for January through August 2021. The city has received $35.5 million total in taxes and fees and $33.3 million from internet gaming, $2.2 million from internet sports betting. At this time, board members, I do want to make you aware of the hold harmless. The Lawful Internet Gaming Act contains a hold harmless clause requiring a payment from the Internet Gaming Fund to the city of Detroit if the city does not receive $183 million. Since online gaming launched in the middle of the city's fiscal year on January 22nd, 2021, It is estimated that the Internet Gaming Fund will disperse to the city of Detroit approximately $38.8 million. I did notify Jay Rising, the Chief Financial Officer of the city of Detroit, of this anticipated one-time disbursement. Tribal operator payments for January through August 2021, 13.2 million in payments to tribes were dispersed. Disassociated persons list. On October 16, 2020, Governor Whitmer signed Public Act 225, allowing disassociated persons to request removal from a lifetime ban after 5 years on the disassociated persons list. Currently, we have 4,274 individuals on the disassociated persons list. As of September 30th, 2021, the board has received 779 applications seeking removal from the DPL list. Board staff has approved 697 requests. Note, of the 697, 9 have requested placement back on the list and denied 36. The remaining 46 applications are currently under review. The denials are due to either the applicants not being eligible for removal or they fail to respond to admissions letters sent to them. The Responsible Gaming Database. On January 22nd, 2021, the Michigan Gaming Control Board authorized online gaming and online sports betting under the Lawful Internet Gaming Act and the Lawful Sports Betting Act. Of the respective acts created statewide responsible gaming databases, which RGD. As of September 30th, 2021, the board has received 49 applications requesting placement in the RGD. 42 participants have been placed on the Internet Gaming list and 41 have been placed on the Internet Sports Betting list. 7 applications received were incomplete and have been returned for additional information. With the addition of the Responsible Gaming Database, we have established a responsible gaming section within the Casino Operations Division. We continue to collaborate our efforts with the Department of Health and Human Services, Lottery, and the Attorney General's Office on how best to expand our resources in helping problem gamblers. Waiver of criminal convictions. Effective December 2019 of the Gaming Control and Revenue Act was signed into law, which allows the board to consider a waiver of misdemeanor convictions of at least 5 years old and felony convictions of at least 10 years old. For occupational license applications, providing the applicant does not pose a threat to the integrity of gaming, the applicant's conviction did not involve gambling, dishonesty, theft, or fraud, and the applicant is otherwise eligible and suitable. To date, we have issued 14 waivers and denied 2. In addition, 1 vendor was also given a waiver of criminal conviction. The fantasy contest. The draft fantasy contest administrative rules were submitted to the Administrative Rules Division of the Michigan Office of Administrative Hearings and Rules on October 4th. On October 4th is when we submitted these. Once the Administrative Rules Division review them, they will be returned to us with their edits. And once we submit our edits back, then at some point they will establish a public hearing so that the public will have an opportunity to weigh in on the administrative rules. Multi-state poker. The Michigan Gaming Control Board comments were sent to the other states, Delaware, New Jersey, and Nevada for review on August 9th. At this time, I would like to share with the board new online technology governing our online platforms. This particular program is used to determine the location of a device attempting to place a bet on any of our platforms here in Michigan. At this time, I would like to introduce the Gaming Lab manager, Rob Franklin, to provide a brief summary of the services provided by one of our suppliers, GeoComply. Mr. Franklin.
Thank you, Henry. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Today, I'm going to briefly talk about the geolocation verification process for online gaming and sports wagering. And as Henry indicated, some of the system reports both the board and the online operators have to regulate iGaming in the state of Michigan. Sorry. So to begin, what is geolocation verification? Well, simply put, is the process of determining the geographic location of an internet connected device, such as a PC, a smartphone, or a tablet. And this capability is critical because all internet gaming and sports wagering operators must have technology in place on their platforms to verify a patron is in Michigan before allowing the placement of any wager or gaming activity. So how are geolocation checks performed in Michigan? Currently, all internet gaming and sports wagering operators have partnered with a company called GeoComply to provide the geolocation verification or geolocation checks across all the platforms. GeoComply technology can detect if a patron does not have the player location software installed on their PC. It can also determine if the location services are not enabled on a mobile device, and it would require that software to be active before you're allowed to wager. The GeoComply technology can also detect the presence of a VPN, a virtual private network, or remote desktop software if it's present on a computer or a mobile device. And both of these software items would basically be used by an individual to mask their true location and make it appear as if they were in Michigan when in fact they might be outside of the state or even outside of the country. Lastly, the GeoComply technology can detect if the mobile device has been jailbroke or rooted, which basically means that the base operating system has been compromised in some way, and an unofficial user app could now be installed on the device, or changes could be made to the device software to get around geolocation controls. GeoComply has a reporting website that is available to the online operators as well as to the board. It has a variety of statistics about gaming activity across Michigan. What I'm showing you now is a graph that allows you to see the level of activity across Michigan, across all of the operators during a set time frame. So in this example, I looked back over the last 7 days, and you can see that there were over 11 million geolocation checks performed against over 400,000 unique patron wagering accounts. And when you consider that a geolocation check takes place when a patron logs into their account and then attempts to make a wager or play a game, this utility is a really good tool to get an understanding of what's happening at any given time. And this utility, we can look backwards as recently as 15 minutes or 30 days or more. And of course, this information can also be broken out by online operator as well. The multiple user report. This report shows instances where a single PC or a mobile device is being used by 3 or more patron accounts on the same operator platform. This information is broken down by device type, such as Apple iOS, Android devices, and then Mac or Microsoft Windows PCs. It's also broken out by platform operator. Now, I have obscured any sort of identifying information related to the operator or the device or the patron, but what you're seeing is I went back 7 days, and in this example, a single Android device has been used by 63 unique patron wagering accounts. And when you see this level of activity, this is a very strong indicator of fraudulent or even criminal activity taking place, such as identity theft, credit card fraud, or proxy betting, which is basically where somebody outside of Michigan has created an online gaming account, and they've provided their credentials to somebody inside of Michigan so that they can then make wagers on their behalf further drilling through the multiple user report and looking at this one particular device, you can actually get information to see all of the geographic locations where this device has been used over that 7-day period. Now you can drill further down into this map and actually get street level information, which then of course can be used by the online operator or the gaming control board for further investigation, follow-up, or even working with law enforcement. The next thing I want to talk about is the suspicious activity report. This report identifies suspicious behavior related to circumventing geolocation checks and controls, and it flags some of the items I mentioned earlier: prohibited software such as a virtual private network or a remote desktop software, a jailbroke or rooted mobile device. This suspicious activity report is run weekly. It's shared with each operator as well as the gaming control board so that they may investigate, follow up on these instances. In this screenshot here, you see that the report identifies, the operator platform in question, the user account that was involved, and then a brief explanation as to why this device and user account is showing up on the report. Items that have been flagged as yellow or orange are less severe or less risky, and are typically items that may just require monitoring to see where they go. Items that are flagged as red are the most suspicious, the most risky behavior, and these are automatically blocked by GeoComply, which means that they are no longer able to pass a geolocation check and wager. In this particular instance right here, the user was running a blocked program, fake GPS location, for a transaction. User's location jumped a distance of over 145 miles between Michigan and Indiana in a 2-minute time period. So obviously no real user could travel that distance in a 2-minute period. This is obvious an example of somebody trying to mask their locations, and that's why they're being blocked. The last thing I want to cover with you is the GeoComply pin drop. This is actually a very neat web-based interface. What it does is it shows you in real time all of the geolocation checks that are happening across the state. And not only do you see the location of where the device is at during the geolocation check, but you get a little information about the device as well. And of course, identifying information has been obscured for the purposes of this presentation, but green pins are for Android devices. White pins are for iOS, Apple devices. Blue pins are for PCs running either Microsoft Windows or the Mac OS. And then red pins are instances where the geolocation check has failed. And in this case, you can see that they were probably over the border in Ohio, and that's why it failed. I'm going to bring up this map for you briefly, just so you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like. So here you see the GeoComply pin drop map, and the geolocation verifications are happening live. You can see that there's some attempts to access Michigan platforms from out of state, and they're being blocked. If you move in closer, this is also a nice utility to kind of gauge where the concentration of all of the activity is taking place around the state. And again, you can see instances where geolocation has failed, probably because maybe they're too close to the Michigan-Canadian border. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rob. Board members, do you have any questions for Rob Franklin at this time? Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Deidre Bounds. I do have a question about the vendor GeoComply. How did we land on that vendor, and are there other vendors providing the same technology?
Okay, I think, Kurt, would you like to answer that question for the board member?
Sure, I can answer that. Good morning,
Good morning.
members of the board. So GeoComply is a supplier licensee to the operators that provide services in the state of Michigan. And so GeoComply wouldn't be a company that the state of Michigan goes out and contracts with for the purpose of GeoComply or for geolocation. It's actually selected by industry. So the requirement in the state of Michigan is that you have a company that provides geolocation services. To date, GeoComply, to my knowledge, is the only company that provides those services in the gaming market. So for that reason, all of the operators in the state of Michigan are currently contracted with GeoComply. That doesn't mean that at some point in the future, if there's another provider that offers that same service, a better service, more competitive, that they can't be licensed and offer the same product in the state of Michigan.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, any other questions from the board members on this presentation?
Just a comment. It was a very good presentation for me, very informative. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Madam Chair. Continuing with the Executive Director's report, Michigan State Police. In the report you have in front of you, there's a section on the activities of the state police, as well as their number of open positions. Since the information includes confidential investigations of persons and crimes at the casinos, I am not going to address in a public forum, but please review at your convenience. In closing, I would like to remind everyone that gambling in any form is for entertainment purposes only. If you or a loved one have a gambling problem, please call the state's 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-800-270-7117. You also may visit our website at www.michigan.gov/MGCB for information on self-exclusion programs, including the Disassociated Persons List and the Internet Gaming and Sports Betting Responsible Gaming Database, or call the MGCB's Responsible Gaming section at 1-888-223-3044. Thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Executive Director Williams. We'll now move on to our business at hand. The first item of business is to consider the Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding Level 1 and Level 2 occupational license applications. The board's employee licensing staff has completed the background investigations of 121 Level 1 and Level 2 occupational license applicants since the board's last regular public meeting. All board members have been provided a copy of Exhibit 1, which summarizes the staff's recommendations to grant applications for the reasons specified in the related background investigation reports. Are there any questions? Board Member Lambert Bounds, could we have a motion to approve the occupational license applications as listed and recommended in Exhibit 1?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, could we have a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the 121 Level 1 and Level 2 occupational licenses as presented to the board, those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's reports and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendations regarding the pending supplier license application request of Alchemy Bet Limited, 2 Amelco UK Limited, 3 Boom Shakala Inc., 4 Crown Michigan Gaming LLC, DBA DraftKings, 5 Design Works Gaming Michigan LLC, 6 GeoComply Solutions Inc., 7, Golden Nugget Online Gaming LLC. 8, Oddsworks Inc., DBA Oddsworks. 9, Rush Street Interactive Michigan LLC. 10, Rush Sports Content Co. LLC. 11, TSG Interactive US Services Limited, DBA Fox Bet. 12, White Hat Gaming. Now, each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting. Each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its supplier license request at today's meeting. And board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Davis, can we have a motion to approve the supplier license applications as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote on the motion.
On the motion to approve the aforementioned pending supplier license request, all those in favor vote aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
That motion has passed and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's reports and licensing and investigations division's recommendations regarding the pending supplier license renewal request of 1, AJR Equities, Inc., 2, Concept 3 LLC, 3, Core Electric Company, Inc., 4, D. Kramer, Inc., 5, Del Bene Produces, Inc., 6, Diversified Construction Specialist, Inc., 7, Gaming Partners International USA, Inc., DBA GPI, 8, Greektown Propco LLC, 9, JMC Electrical Contractor LLC, DBA JMC Technology Group, 10, Premier Services Group LLC, 11, Socios Holdings, Inc., DBA Quality Meats and Culinary Specialties, 12, the United States Playing Card Company with new key persons, Arnaud Jean-Louis Ducartier de Marquien, Louis-Emile Ducartier de Marquien, and Baptiste GCG Ducartier de Marquien. 13, Turner Electric Services LLC. Each board member has been provided copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting. And each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its supplier license renewal request at today's meeting. And board staff is present to answer any question board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, can we have a motion to approve the supplier license renewals as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the aforementioned pending supplier license renewal request, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and orders will be issued accordingly. The next agenda item is to consider the licensing and investigations division's recommendations regarding the request to withdraw the supplier licenses of 1, Homespun Furniture, Inc., and 2, LLP Services, Inc., DBA LLP Construction Services. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting. Each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting. And board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Bounds, can we have a motion to approve the supplier license withdrawal as recommended, withdrawals as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the aforementioned supplier license withdrawal request, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item on the agenda is consideration of the Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding the acknowledgement of violation of supplier licensee. That's Bet MGM LLC DBA Roar Digital. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the report to review prior to today's meeting. The licensee was given notice that the board would consider the recommendations regarding the acknowledgement of violation at today's meeting. Is there a representative for Bet MGM on the call wishing to address the board? If so, please identify yourself for the board. Okay, I will note that we don't have a licensee or representative present. Are there any questions from board members? Board Member Davis, can we have a motion to accept the acknowledgement of violation as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the acknowledgement of violation of supplier licensee Bet MGM DBA Roar Digital, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item on the agenda is consideration of the Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding the acknowledgement of violation of casino licensee MGM Grand Detroit LLC. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the report for review prior to today's meeting, and the licensee was given notice that the board would consider the recommendation regarding the acknowledgement of violation at today's meeting. Is there a representative for MGM on the call and wishing to address the board? If so, please identify yourself for the board. I will note that there is not a representative of the licensee present. Are there any questions from board members? Board Member Palms, can we have a motion to accept the acknowledgement of violation as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the acknowledgement of violation of casino licensee MGM Grand Detroit LLC, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's report and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendation regarding the pending request for approval of new key person of Bet MGM LLC DBA Roar Digital, Victoria Claire Gemin. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the report for review prior to today's meeting. The applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Lambert Bounds, can we have a motion to approve the application for the new key person for Bet MGM LLC as recommended?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, may we have a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the request for acknowledgement of violation approval for, I'm sorry. On the motion to approve the request for approval of new key person of supplier licensee Bet MGM LLC, DBA Roar Digital. All those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item to consider is the Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding the acknowledgement of violation of occupational licensee Justin Liggins. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the report for review prior to today's meeting. The licensee was given notice that the board would consider the recommendation regarding the acknowledgement of violation at today's meeting. At this time, can I ask Assistant Attorney General Jason Geisler to come forward to briefly summarize the facts involved?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to you. Good morning to the board members. It's a pleasure being with you today, albeit virtually. Mr. Liggins' matter involves, he is a occupational licensee, a level 2 occupational licensee, and was advised in 2019 during the renewal of that license of certain tax issues, specifically some missing returns, and then some liabilities that were uncovered subsequent to that. He signed a debt acknowledgement letter advising board staff that he would take care of these issues prior to his next renewal. That next renewal came in 2021. And during the investigation, it was determined that some of those matters that he previously indicated would be addressed were not addressed at that point in time. And they were not addressed until late June or early July of this year. And so as a result of that, he made certain representations that when he filed his renewal application, that he was current on all tax filings and didn't have any liabilities for taxes owed in the past. Obviously, that statement on his application was false at the time. So as a result of these actions, the licensee was cited for a number of different violations of the act and the rules, specifically failing to cooperate in any investigation, inquiry, or hearing conducted by the board, failing to be in substantial compliance with all local, state, and federal tax laws, failure to maintain suitability for licensure, and then failing to disclose or falsely stating information on the application. And as a result of those violations, it was recommended that a $250 fine be assessed against the licensee's license. And that individual accepted those terms in the notice of opportunity to show compliance that was sent to him. He elected at that point in time to sign the AOV portion of the acknowledgement of violation portion of that NOSC form on September 11th, 2021. And then that was returned to the board. And so we are asking at this time that the board accept and adopt the terms of the signed AOV and assess a $250 fine against the licensee at this point. Happy to answer any other questions that you might have regarding this matter.
Thank you for the report. Is Mr. Liggins or a representative on the call and wishing to address the board? If so, please identify yourself for the record. Okay. I will note that the licensee nor a representative is present. Are there any questions from board members? Board Member Davis, can we have a motion to accept the acknowledgement of violation as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the acknowledgement of violation for the aforementioned occupational licensee, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and an order will be issued accordingly. Our next item is to consider the Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding the acknowledgement of violation of occupational licensee Hueli Merkel. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the report prior to today's meeting. The licensee was given notice that the board would consider the recommendation regarding the acknowledgement of violation at today's meeting. I'd like to ask again Assistant Attorney General Jason Geisler to please provide a brief summary regarding the facts involved.
I'd be happy to, Madam Chair. Thank you. Similar to the last matter, this individual is a level 2 occupational licensee. And in 2019, they were applying for, that individual was applying for a renewal of that level 2 occupational license. And it was discovered that there were certain tax issues that needed to be addressed as part of the suitability requirements under the Act and the rules. And specifically, it was some missing tax returns that had not yet been filed. As a result, Ms. Merkel signed a debt acknowledgement letter saying that this information would be addressed, or these issues would be addressed prior to the next renewal period. In 2021, when the licensee applied for renewal of that level 2 occupational license, it was determined in the subsequent investigation of that renewal application that the tax returns from 2017 that were previously marked as not filed were still not filed, and in fact were not filed until May 21st of this year. And so at the time of her application, it was determined that she, or the individual, made representations that there were no outstanding tax liabilities and or all filings were current. And that statement was obviously false at the time of the application being submitted to the board. As a result, the board sent this individual a notice of opportunity to show compliance as part of the requirements of the Administrative Procedures Act, citing various provisions of the Act and rules, specifically failing to cooperate in any investigation, inquiry, or hearing conducted by the board, failing to be in substantial compliance with all local, state, or federal tax laws, failing to maintain suitability for licensure, and then failing to disclose or falsely stating information on an application to the board. And as a result of that, the board was recommending a $250 fine. Rather than electing to pursue this matter further by way of a compliance conference or a contested case hearing, the licensee elected to go ahead and sign the AOV, or acknowledgement of violation, portion of the NOSC form on September 2nd, 2021, accepting that proposed $250 fine. So as a result, we are here today to ask the board to accept and adopt the terms of the AOV in a final order of the board.
Thank you very much for your report. Is Ms. Merkel or her representative on the call and wishing to address the board? If so, please come forward and identify yourself for the record. I will note that the licensee nor the representative is present. Are there any questions from board members? Board Member Palms, can we have a motion to accept the acknowledgement of violation as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the acknowledgement of violation for the aforementioned occupational licensee, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and an order will be issued accordingly. The final agenda item is consideration of the administrative law judge's proposal for decision of occupational licensee Erica Bianca Adams. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the report for review prior to today's meeting. The licensee was given notice that the board would consider the recommendation regarding the proposal for decision at today's meeting. I'd like to ask again Assistant Attorney General Jason Geisler to come forward to summarize the facts.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. It'd be my pleasure to. This is an individual licensee, occupational licensee, who in December 24th of 2019, the board received information that Ms. Adams had been arrested by the Detroit Police Department. And shortly thereafter, the board requested information from the Detroit Police Department. However, given the nature of the offense, they could not provide that at that time. So in response, a regulation officer asked the licensee about this arrest, and she responded that she was never actually charged with anything and that the case was ultimately dismissed. As a result, the regulation officer asked for a copy of the police report as well as police clearance, indicating that she was in fact not charged with anything. Unfortunately, that information, despite being requested in January of 2020, was not provided to the board until August of 2020. And as a result, an NOSC was provided or sent to this licensee back at the early part of, or at the late part of 2020. And ultimately, it was not acted upon because she was not employed given the pandemic at that point. However, when she did come back to work, she was asked again what she wanted to do. She ultimately decided at that point in time in April, requested a compliance conference, which was set for April 2nd, 2021. Ms. Adams never showed up to that compliance conference. And so the next stage at that point in time was to set the matter for a contested case hearing under the Administrative Procedures Act. So the board went ahead and did that. That meeting, or that hearing took place on June 15th, 2021. Again, Ms. Adams did not show up for those proceedings. As a result, a default judgment was entered against her. And the proposal for decision was issued by Administrative Law Judge David Cohen on September 21st, 2021. In that proposal for decision, the Administrative Law Judge accepted the facts as true and agreed with the recommendation of a 3-day suspension. And so at this point in time, we are asking the board to adopt the conclusions of law and the proposed facts and the the conclusions of law, and then accept the recommendation of the 3-day suspension of this individual's license. It should be noted that Ms. Adams is not currently employed by any of the casinos at this point. However, her license is still valid. As a result, we would still ask the board to approve this final order by accepting the proposal for decision terms, given that Ms. Adams could obtain employment from another casino at that point in time. So that's what we're asking the board here today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer those for you.
Thank you for the report. Thank you. Is Ms. Adams or her representative on the call and wishing to address the board? If so, please identify yourself for the record. I will note that neither the licensee nor the representative is present. Are there any questions from board members? Board Member Lambert Bounds, can we have a motion to accept the proposal for decision as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to accept the administrative law judge's proposal for decision for the aforementioned occupational licensee, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion has passed and an order will be issued accordingly. We have an item K, other business, but I don't believe there's any other business. We'll move now into public comment. And we are now at the point in the board meeting where members of the public may come forward and offer comments regarding the business of the board. I will ask Mary Kay Bean if we've had any requests.
Ms. Forte, we do not have any requests.
Okay, thank you. And if there are, since there are no requests, we will move on to the next item. The board's next scheduled public meeting will be Tuesday, December 14th, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. Next, we will consider a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute. Specifically, to discuss background investigations exempt from disclosure under Section 13(1)D of the Freedom of Information Act in conjunction with Section 4C, 1A and C of the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act. The information, records, interviews, reports, statements, correspondence, memorandum, documents, or other data was supplied to, created by, or is being used in a background investigation of an application for a supplier license, or was provided in conjunction with an application for a supplier license under the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act. The board also received notification of persons placed on the disassociated persons list since the board's last closed session of August 10th, 2021. Since the board's August 10th, 2021 public meeting, several applications have been received from individuals requesting to be placed on the board's disassociated persons list as part of their treatment for compulsive gambling problems under Section 25 of the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act. The Act and Board Resolution number 2001-06 require the board to be provided with confidential notification of the names of all individuals placed on the disassociated persons list since the board's last closed session. Board Member Davis, can we have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Any discussion? A roll call vote on this motion.
On the motion for the board to go into closed session following this portion of today's public meeting, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously, and we will now go into closed session. looking to see if we have everyone here yet. Well, I don't see Henry here yet.
Oh, there he is.
Yep, here he is. Hey. Great. We will resume with the open meeting. And our item on the agenda is a motion to approve minutes of the board's August 10th, 2021 closed meeting session. Board members have been provided with a copy of the prepared minutes of the board's last closed session, which was held on August 10th, 2021, for review prior to today's meeting. Do board members have any corrections, additions, or deletions to the prepared minutes? Board Member Palms, can we have a motion to adopt the prepared minutes?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? May we have a roll call vote on the motion?
On the motion to approve the minutes from the board's last closed session held August 10th, 2021, all those in favor vote aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you all. That motion is passed. The final item today is a motion and vote to adjourn. Board Member Lambert Bounds, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Any discussion? And may we have a roll call vote?
On the motion to adjourn today's public meeting, all those in favor say aye, opposed nay. Chairwoman Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Davis,
Aye.
Board Member Lambert Bounds.
Aye.
Thank you all. That motion has passed and we are adjourned. Thank you all for
Everybody.
You.
the meeting.
Bye, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Here.
Cheers.